Hi guys, good morning from the UK. Today is the 9th of May, and I'm going to share with you actually a very important, I call it the indicator. So, an indicator, if you trade US30, this is something you need to have so that you can kind of see the correlation between the two and understand what price action might do on US30. But before we come to that, I'm just going to do a little bit of a recap on yesterday's analysis. We did say US30 price action is going to drop. So we were looking for sales. So I'm just going to show you guys this entry that I took. I am in an entry right now from last night, I think. Um, and yeah, so I took this entry right here at the rejection. I'm just going to push it here. So can you see this candle which rejected off my 200 moving average? This was my entry basically right here, and then my I'm gonna just make it bigger. There we go. Okay, so this was literally where my entry was on US30, and I took it all the way down to the bottom of the zone that we drew. Okay, this is been adjusted. My take profit was way up above this, was way here. It was about 40 pips, I believe. But I didn't have any drawdown on this, so I adjusted my stop loss as I went along, guys. Okay, so basically it hit take profit here at the bottom of my zone, and then I was out of this trade, and then it did a little bit of consolidation, and obviously this is on a 1 minute. Like I told you guys, you need to wait for a confirmation on a lower time frame and trade with the trend, because if you were to move to a higher time frame, you will not have seen a sell set up for this particular trade because it was still setting up in the higher time frame. Right, so I had to drop to the lowest time frame that I use is 1 minute. I do know others who use 15 seconds and so on, but that's I don't use it. So just for me on this trade, I took a 1 minute and we got 135 pips ish out of this. And this was one of the trades which closed off. And I'm going to show you the next trade that I took. I believe that was on a 5 minutes. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys this quickly. I'm just going to make it bigger so you guys can see where I entered. So I entered again at this rejection pin bar. Can you see the pin bar print on the 200 moving average? I'll see if I can find the arrow so that you guys can actually see. Don't know. Maybe it's this arrow marker. Let's just try this. So this candle. Oops, I'm going to put it here. Can you guys see this? Okay, so this one where the red pin bar literally formed the red color indicator, and it also rejected off the 10 and the 200, and the 10 crossed the 200 basically. So I knew it was going to go for a nice sell down, and I put my stop loss right above the zone here, which was 34 pips. Right, and then obviously there was a little bit of drawdown on this. I was on a drawdown throughout the night. I didn't watch this trade, to be honest. I took it while I was still awake. I saw it and then I just marked it up and that's it. Took it and it was running when I woke up this morning, was deep down in profits. Obviously already now taken partials, and I've already adjusted my stop loss. So I am still expecting this to go further down. So I will be keeping an eye on this trade. I do believe that it will go down into this zone here, so I have marked it up for 33,320 would be my take profit. But to be honest, I'm gonna go down to the four. I'm just gonna remove this arrow. Just looks a bit messy in it. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna go down to the 4 hours, guys. That should show you guys where I think price would actually go. Right, and I'm also just gonna off all those indicators just so that it's not so messy. Just bear with me. Oops. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to hide all the drawings so it's not so messy. Okay, so we drew a support resistance line here. I'm not going to draw it again, but if I turn it on, you guys can see a support resistance line here. So basically, on a 4 hour, I am waiting for price to come back down into the zone, touch it, and stay there. If it rejects off the support resistance line, then because I do think it's a very heavy support resistance line, it's a strong one, and if it do stays there, we are expecting a further drop which I think it could go all the way down to this bit here because there's so much liquidity to be grabbed here, to be honest. And price has come back to this point, touched it several times, and that would be like probably 31 700 ish. Okay, but I like to kind of see where price possibly might go, but I don't look so far ahead. I take it as it comes and see where price could possibly work, like go towards on a smaller scale, and then I just move downwards or upwards accordingly. Okay, because sometimes we think the price is going to go to 33,700. We get so hung up on that thought, and then we just kind of ignore any other price action, and then price just reverses on us. So sometimes I don't kind of look so far ahead, if that makes sense. So I'm just doing short bursts. So right now I'm waiting for price to come to this support resistance because there is a whole lot of liquidity here. So price, I do believe, will come down into this zone. Okay, at the very bare minimum here. That's the reason why I marked it up here, because it's the base of this, right? So a closure of this candle, the previous, here, I do believe that this is the lowest it would come to, possibly go down here and take liquidity out here. But that's the next step. So this is my first like take profit, which not really first take profit, but a closure for this before it does a retracement back, and then I might take another sell again, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is where I'm looking at for price to kind of stabilize to see what it's doing. If it does reject, then we can expect a retracement back up again. Well, let's just see what price does today. Right, guys, so I'm still on the sell on this one here, very deep in profit, but you guys can understand where I got into the entry point. All right, so that's that. But before I go off, I'm going to show you guys this indicator, which I think is very important if you trade US30. So if you go to, I'm going to show you, it's called the VIX, it's called the volatility. And if you were to go into just go and search. You know, where you search for all your pairs, your forex or your indices. You just go into that, just click VIX, and you can see your volatility index. Choose one, and I basically chose capital.com. Um, and what it does, it works in the opposite correlation to US30. So if you see VIX literally going up, you know that US30 is going to go down, if that makes sense. Okay, so literally you can use that as a guide. So literally you can use this as a guide, guys. So if you see now US30 went up here, 1st of May, and then you just do a lot of back testing to just make sure that you are convinced of that theory and you know how to make it work and how to use it effectively. So right now we see that US30 is, I mean, VIX is on a up right now on a 15 minutes. On a 1 hour, it is also going up, but possibly there's a, you can see that it's formed a double bottom, so we want to keep an eye on that. If it's going to keep going, if it's going to drop back down, guys, I'm probably going to keep an eye on US30 because you are going to see US30 do a reversal to the upside, which I'm probably going to come out of my position. So this is something that I use just to see what this volatility index is, how it's performing, and I kind of use it to just measure US30 as well. So just a small little tip for you guys, and hopefully you find that useful. And see you guys in another video.